Whoa, Wazam. Today's video is about maintaining and regaining culture and cultural identity. First, I'm going to start off by reading the definition of culture. The definition of culture says the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. Basically, what we achieved collectively, not just arts or what we might perceive to be arts like music and paintings and shit like that. Intellectual achievement as well, like in science, math, physics, astrology, and things of that matter. You dig? Tell them what you want to tell them on that.
And then also it's also adding to like the historical aspects, as in like what we achieved in the past, and what things we need to learn from, what and what not to do, as a culture. When you have that cultural awareness, basically you'll know how to react in certain situations, because you're pretty much grounded in your roots, your culture, your actual cultivating something for you to prosper in the future, type of thing.
I don't know, because a lot of people say that black people don't even have a culture. What you think about that shit, first of all?
Right now, I feel like as a whole, as a black man in America, we have a artificial culture right now. We got stuff that's being created, and we follow what's being implanted and what's being placed in front of our faces. For the most part, we just go with the flow. We don't have any roots to really establish any true foundation.
I think we got the roots. I think we just ain't trying to plant nothing.
Yeah, don't have the connection right now.
I don't think we trying to connect to the goddamn roots, because the roots is there. To me, we already done branched off from our tribalistic nature. It's all about individualism in the quote-unquote black culture. I got this, I got that, I gotta move out at 18, I gotta get out, I gotta get a car. It's all about an individual aspect these days, and that all of us can agree that other cultures, we see them living 10, 20, 50 deep. They all got cars and they all not arguing and fighting. But when it come to us, everybody got to move out fast. Like that, I don't get that.
That's because they're in touch with their cultural values. They actually have stuff and have plans and blueprints. People come from other countries knowing what they're gonna do here in the States. Knowing that they got people back home that they need to provide for, and also they got connections back home too. It's not just that people have connections and outside resources they take advantage of, and actually establish and do other stuff. It's how do you say, it's having the integrity and the initiative to really want to do something for your, not even do something collectively, really as a unit type of thing. We don't have that sense of I don't feel like we're really united as a true nation.
And we gotta remember too that our culture was basically stripped from us. They even outlawed beating on the drum. So who knows what other things that has been stripped from us that we don't even have no idea of today, that might provide us with a certain type of spirit, a certain type of energy, you dig? By everything being basically stripped from us. Other cultures didn't necessarily have to go through that the way we had to go through that for a whole continent to be raped. All type of tribes and different traditions being like mixed together and thrown away, all type of rape going on, you understand? So other cultures ain't go through what we went through necessarily. We do got to keep that in the account. Yeah. Now, the definition of cultural identity, it said, is the identity or feeling of belonging to a group. It is a part of a person's self-conception and self-perception, and is related to nationality, ethnicity, religion, social class, generation, locality, or any kind of social group that has its own distinct culture. Would you say that black people have its own distinct culture in America today?
Based on what I see right now, yeah, but I don't see I don't see it being a genuine culture that we really should be following. I see it being the American culture that they place on us.
You think so? Even Ebonics, like, you know how people tend to change words or say them how we want to say them. You know how we do with the words, you know.
Yeah, I feel like we are subconsciously being culturally hijacked. Let me say that.
Oh,
Subconsciously. Let me tell you why. Because
right.
I was looking at these this little graph it has right here. You just looked up right quick when you looked up the definition. I was looking at that, and it has the different categories, and it was saying cultural identity. You know, you said that. Then it says linguistic minorities. You know, your language.
Yeah.
We obviously aren't using our original language, or even a language that relates to where we come from.
It's just stripped from us.
Yep. Ethnic, minorities, our ethnics, our ethnicity. We don't even relate to a certain ethnicity that establishes, our foundation type of thing. What do we call ourselves?
I think that
African American.
That ethnic minority is when they loop all of us in together as minorities, like at the bottom of the social class. You know how they be like, minorities are blacks and Latinos, you know?
Yeah.
Minorities.
Okay, I feel it. But it's still to the point where we're still not claiming our own ethnicity,
True.
Everything is to the point where it was placed in front of us, and we just took it and ran with it.
Like a female the other day told me, like, music, hip-hop music is not just for black people. We created it. It's the manifestation of the arts by us collectively. What the fuck you mean it's not ours? It is ours. Because if you ask somebody about heavy metal, they gonna say it's theirs, you know? They're not gonna say it's yours. Believe that and go to their concerts and they'll let you know that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Quickly.
And it's to the point where I'm just trying to figure out, like, when it comes to our culture, are we really united, and are we really, willing to be able to make sacrifices for people? I guess you could say that's not blood related, but I feel like family goes much farther than, just being, how do you say it? Family is much more than just being blood, I got homies I've known for years, closer than some of my family members. So it's like, are people really willing to make sacrifices and to do stuff in the community for strangers and, shit like that? Like, do we really have a sense of culture and nationalism? Like, I feel like we don't even know. We're a nation within a nation, and we don't even know it.
Believe it or not, though, I believe that we do have it in us to make sacrifices to help other people, because it's a census that's, you could look this shit up, that basically say during hard times, the main people that donate is poor people. That's why as soon as Katrina happened, it's on the flood flash screen everywhere and everybody donating. Yeah. So usually the poor is the first to donate, and you have a few rich people splatter $1 million here and there. But usually the overall donation comes from poor people, just like the people who went through the tragedy. You understand?
Yeah, but I feel like that's being instilled subconscious, or that's based off our subconscious, which is based on certain, moralities, which is based on religion or some political scheme that people aren't even aware of. Behind the scenes is some fraudulent stuff, we don't even know about. So it's like...
But see, I felt something. All right. When Katrina happened, I was on my way from the goddamn military. I was going through my little discharge process, but I couldn't catch a flight from St. Louis to New Orleans, you dig?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to stop in St. Louis, and it's like all the black people there, they was working. They was employees at the airport, and it was like, hey, man, you straight? You can come to my house or whatever, And I was like, oh, I'm going to be good. I'm going to catch a flight here, then I'm going to go to, I got some people in California or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But them people offered me, they home and shit. They was at work, like, Like, damn, and they was telling me about what had happened because I had missed all type of coverage. Remember, I'm in the military. We couldn't watch shit or nothing. So it was a certain unity I felt like
Yeah.
amongst them as black people that I know is there, you dig? I just can't
Okay.
count us out.
But I definitely feel what you're saying, but I just don't want to. Well, I'm not going to accept the fact that it takes a whole natural disaster for that to show. You know.
I think a natural disaster, I don't know, it would take at this point, bro, it would take a mass fucking casualty for black people to finally fucking wake up. For, I don't know what else is gonna take, in a way.
A cultural shock.
They have to be very blatant with these motherfuckers these days, bro, because people have to still look up shit that's very it's
But
out
look,
there in front of them.
Is Trump not blatant enough?
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, I don't know how
Yeah.
much more blatant they could be. God damn it. And even they probably don't know. Like, damn, what do we gotta do?
I think it's just to the point where we gotta really just push our issue. You know, do what we do. Really don't worry about people that ain't really to get on this, you know, train that's about to take off within the next few minutes. You know, when people how do you say, when the going gets tough, motherfuckers that's not ready ain't gonna be ready. So, you know, you either gonna
Exactly.
get with it or get lost type of thing. So
But
it's
in a way, they're gonna look to people like you and me and others who've been trying to get ready and who've been trying to get them ready, you dig?
yeah.
Not only mentally, but physically. But first, to me, it started in the mind, goddamn it. Most of them don't even know they at war. Just walking around blind, you dig? Listening to music or following whatever trend, whatever social media bullshit they supposed to be looking at, you know, or what they supposed to believe today.
Another example of like the misdirection of our cultural, you know, identity is you know, gangs and all this cliques and you know, schemes and stuff like that. Like, we got so much power and unity in the wrong aspects of life. Like, we could be doing so much more. I feel like it might just take, you know, somebody to get out there, because, you know, a lot of motherfuckers like us, we ain't grow up, you know, with fathers and stuff like that. So it takes one bold or a few a group of bold motherfuckers to get out there and talk to these you know, cats like us, you know, running around that's ignorant, not really trying to listen to nothing. It's getting to the point where we gotta just start doing things firsthand and challenge other motherfuckers to do things firsthand. You know, we can't just sit around and listen to stuff on the internet or on YouTube. It's to the point where we gotta really realize how important it is, and it's to the point where if you don't even realize we're at war, just realize that we don't have a sense of unity within our communities. Like, you know, back in the day, they used to be able to, you know, what does it say? It takes a community to raise a child. You know,
Village, yeah.
or yeah, there we go. It takes a village to raise a child, and it's like, when you put it in modern day terms, a village ain't nothing but a smaller or, you know, a miniature version of a community. So it's like we really gotta start putting things into motion before it's too late, bro. You know, start taking initiative, challenging everybody out there, which is what we trying to do right now.
That was too many facts. So all I could do is wrap the video up, y'all. This the blackout era, you heard me? Once again, y'all holler at us.